Hey everybody, it's Jedi Mistress BRG, and we are going to have our first hacking workshop. Aren't you excited? Now, I know some of you are worried. Don't be worried. I would never have you do anything illegal. So, tonight we're going to work on how to get somebody's IP address. And I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would I need anybody's IP address? Well, sometimes you need a physical address, right? In police work, you often need to know where somebody lives. Well, the same is true for computers. Sometimes you need to know where they're working from. And so we do that by getting their IP address and then tracking that IP address through GPS and figuring out where they are. Now, a good hacker will be masking the IP address using either an IP address masking device or a bouncer, which will bounce around the IP address every few seconds, right? But for script kiddies, simple crimes committed using the computer, this is a good way to start. And so it's a good skill to have. And it's actually not as hard as you think it is, right? You don't have to be a programmer to do this, and we're going to walk it through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a few different videos that each go through the steps. The steps are really important that you follow them in order. There'll be a written version of the steps also so that you know what to do, and so you can make a checklist of what you have to do. And hopefully we'll have a good time. So take your time. Don't get frustrated. Follow the instructions. Okay. You're going to need some things handy and ready. You're going to need a pen and some paper. You are going to, if you have a PC or a Mac, you want to open your note-taking, program. So I'm on a Dell right now, so I'm going to open Notepad. And I want to have that handy because I'm going to need that later. All right. So step one, open some kind of note-taking device, either Notes or Notepad. Once you have that open, you want to go to the web, and you're going to be making a brand new Gmail account. So this is Audrey Johnson. She doesn't exist anywhere, but this is Audrey Johnson's email address, and this is her Google account, right? So every time I do a campaign, every time, whether it's on the top web or the dark web, I create a brand new identity for that campaign. I always say, when I go, 800 other people are going with me because I have a different identity for everything that I do. And I'm going to show you soup to nuts how you create your identity, you do what you have to do, and then you blow away your identity. And I do that every single time, all of the time. Some campaigns I use burner phones. I always use burner email addresses. I always use an IP spoofer, right? So those are things that I always use. We don't need to do that for this because getting somebody's IP address is not illegal, right? And you're going to be hacking yourselves, so, there won't be anything to worry about, all right? So you need to create a new Gmail address, and this is how you do it. Go to Gmail. You go up here to whatever popped up when you put in Gmail, if it's your school email or whatever. You're going to go to add another account, and you are going to create an account for yourself. You're going to, it popped up with my kids' information, but you're going to create something brand new. So you want to give it a legitimate name, right? You don't want Fluffy Bunny Slippers because nobody's going to respond to anything by Fluffy Bunny Slippers. You want it to sound legit. So I'm going to be Anna Jane Pilsner. And my email address is going to be Anna Jane Pilsner. Fun fact, people will open emails from women before they will open emails from men. So even if you're a guy, you might want to use a girl's email address. You want to give yourself a 13-string password. Even though it's a burner account, you don't want it to get hacked. So, all right, when you click next, you're going to be asked all this stuff. You can just skip it. But notice it wants a birthday, so you have to be older than 21. So 1980 is a good year. Gender, you don't have to tell them who you are, right? Notice my last pass came up. Don't save this. These are the rules. Read them. Pretty much says don't do bad things, and I agree. Do not do bad things. So remember that getting the IP address is not illegal, just like getting somebody's address, their physical address, is not illegal. What you do once you have that information, that is what is could be illegal. So if I look up in a phone book, in the olden days we had these books, Padawan, that you looked in, you got addresses out of, and then you would drive by that person's house if you had a crush on them. So that wasn't illegal either. But if you go, if you break in and rob the place, right, that's the illegal act. So getting the address isn't illegal, but what you do with it could be. So don't do that. All right, so now I've created an account, and now you can see in a second, it's going to tell us. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now my good friend has her own email. I'm going to skip the tutorial. All right, and now these little dots over here, I'm going to go here, and let me move my camera a minute. I want to go to Google Drive. And I want to put something in here, either an image or a file, something that looks legitimate, right? Doesn't matter what it is, it just has to look legitimate. So I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to upload a file. Takes my computer a second. The gremlins have to get busy working. And I'm just going to find, let's see, let's go to my desktop. What do I got here? Oh, look, there's our notes. Okay, I'm just going to find this. Just a simple screenshot I did the other day. All right, so I have this image here. I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to get a shareable link. And I'm going to copy that link, and I'm going to put it on my notepad. Then I'm going to open up a new browser, and I'm going to go to Bitly. Just scroll down here, and I'm going to paste that link in here to shorten it. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it onto my note card. You are well on your way to being an ethical hacker. So that's the end of video 1. We'll be back in video 2 so you find out what it is you do with this now that you have it. So I want you to do all these steps. Take a screenshot of your notepad or your notes that shows me your drive address and your Bitly address so that I know that you got this step correct. All right, see you guys in video 2.